Hi coffee beans, how's it brewing? I'm about a month into quarantine and trying to keep busy with crafts. I genuinely hope all of you, your friends, and family are well and staying safe. We will get through this, we just have to stay home and take care of ourselves. I'm still waiting for my February, March, and April Sophie and Toffee boxes, and I'm still so antsy to do alcohol inks. Then I realized I never did the January Vending Machines box. So today I'll be making both vending machines using my own Pinata alcohol inks. For this project I'll be using Sophie and Toffee 1:1 epoxy resin, Sophie and Toffee colored UV resin in green, black, and blue from the January Elves Box, plastic beads in pastel colors, my infamous unicorn tears glitter, I just can't resist using these stars, plastic rainbow sprinkles from the Sophie and Toffee December Blowout Box, polymer dessert cane slices from the January Elves Box, animal nail stickers from the January Elves Box, clear ball inclusions from Sophie and Toffee, plastic gotcha balls from the January Elves Box, UV resin, and Pinata alcohol inks in white, magenta, blue, yellow, green, and purple. Both vending machine molds are from the January Elves Box from Sophie and Toffee. Before I get started though, I have to show you guys this craziness. My mold came with a hair in it! It's hard for me to show you because I tried focusing my camera as best as I could, but I swear there's a hair in the mold. It's not on the outside, it's in the mold. I washed these and everything and I can't get the hair off. First, I added the colored UV resin into the molds to add accent color to the buttons. Then I mixed up the 1:1 epoxy resin, stirring slowly. I also added some silver iridescent glitter and stirred that in. I poured that mixture into one of the molds. This is the plushy vending machine, I think, because it has the big opening at the bottom for the toy to fall into. Then I added some black iridescent glitter to the rest of my resin and poured that into the food vending machine mold. I think this one's the food one because it has buttons for a selection and a place at the top for a little sign. Next, I added my Pinata alcohol inks. I really love the rainbow look I got in my animal charms, so I decided to do the same thing with the plushy vending machine. I added blue, magenta, and yellow, like the primary colors. Blue and magenta will make purple, magenta and yellow will make orange, and yellow and blue will make green. So this plushie machine should look like a big rainbow. But don't forget to add white ink on top of each layer of color before adding more color drops. Basically, color drops, white drops, color drops, white drops, etc. The white ink is more dense than the other colors, so it pushes the colors down, which is how you achieve the spidery coral reef type look. I thought I'd try and do a galaxy effect with the food vending machine, so I added sporadic drops of green, purple, and blue all over the resin. For each mold, I did 3 layers of color with white in between. I usually have trouble with my resin not curing fully because I'm really impatient and I check them too early. So I let these sit in peace on a tall shelf for about 4 days. Now here's my real-time reaction to demolding these. Pardon the audio quality, but I wanted you to hear my thoughts.
Okay, now for the demolding that everyone's been waiting for. I'm the most excited about this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and demold this one first. Save the best for last. Whoa, this side. That looks so cool. I love how this looks with the glitter. I think the glitter was a really good choice. And the UV resin, the colored UV resin cured just fine. I was a little worried it was going to be sticky. Okay, time for my favorite one. I'm so excited to do this one. Oh my goodness. I am absolutely in love with this piece. I love this. If you look up here even, it just looks like galaxy art. That is so gorgeous.
Alright, time to decorate our vending machines. I put this candy store sticker on the top. It was included with the January Elves Box. I'm going to add these dessert polymer canes as the food item you could order. So I added a thin layer of UV resin and spread it around before placing the cane slices. Then I added some of the rainbow sprinkles and spread them around in the resin. Then I cured it under my UV light. This is going to be a dry shaker, so I added some more of the rainbow sprinkles and a bunch of the cane slices. Then I added the shaker film with a thin layer of UV resin and cured it in place with my UV light. The top was already so colorful, so I wanted the bottom to be a little bit more simple. So I added a thin layer of UV resin and placed some pastel beads. I was careful to turn them so the bead holes didn't show. I wanted them to look like solid gotcha balls. Then, to continue the galaxy look, I added silver stars all over with some more UV resin and then cured that. Then, for the shaker, I added some more of those rainbow sprinkles. I finished by placing the shaker film with UV resin and cured it with my UV light. There was a little slot on the machine for money, so I added some of the little sprinkles there with UV resin. I thought I was done, but I think the top is sort of missing some pizzazz. So I applied a thin layer of UV resin to the edge of the sticker and added the same rainbow sprinkles, curing it with my UV light every few minutes to secure them. I did a little pastel pattern of white, pink, purple, blue, yellow, green, and orange. And I realized that this might trigger some people because it's not in the correct rainbow order, but I don't know. I like the order, it's more random. Then I domed the entire thing in UV resin. It's so shiny now! I really love how this turned out. The colors are so bright inside the shaker that it's a nice contrast against the dark blue and purple resin. Now I can work on the rainbow machine! I want this one to be a plushie machine, but I didn't want to use all of the rainbow gotcha balls Sophie and Toffee sent just to fill up the space. So I added a thin layer of UV resin and added more of those pastel beads instead. These will help fill in the space more, but keep it looking full. I did the same thing with the prize slot at the bottom. I added a thin layer of UV resin and then placed some of the clear plastic balls. Then I added the animal nail art stickers to some of the gotcha balls, but these were not easy to take off the sheet. I actually murdered a couple of the animals trying to get them off. To try and maintain the rainbow look of the entire machine, I made a red cat, orange frog, yellow pig, green monkey, blue panda, purple tiger, and pink zebra. Does anyone else think this sounds like Legend of the Hidden Temple? I added a thin layer of resin to the back of each ball and placed them on top of the pink beads. I rearranged them a little to look crooked or sideways, so that it looked more like a real gotcha machine, rather than me, a perfectionist, placing them perfectly straight. I wanted it to look like someone had just won a bunch of prizes. So I poured in some UV resin and placed the gotcha balls to look like they were rolling out of the machine. Then I added a couple more clear plastic balls in back to fill in the space, before curing everything under my UV light. The mold had this weird ball-shaped indent on it, and I wasn't really sure what that was for, so I just added a blue ball instead. Then I placed the shaker film with a thin layer of UV resin and cured it in place with my UV light. And finally, I domed the entire thing in UV resin and cured it under my big UV light. This is my absolute favorite. I seriously think it's my favorite resin piece I've ever made. Truthfully, I wasn't very excited about the January Elves box. After boxes like the Ice Castle and Dragons, vending machines sounded so normal, like a reflection of normal life. But I'm actually really happy I waited this long to make mine. I think I've had a lot of inspiration lately, and I was able to make something really pretty. Let me know what you guys think. Which machine is your favorite? Have you ever made anything from Sophie and Toffee? Check the description below for a discount code so you can save on your next Sophie and Toffee purchase. Plus, I'd love to see anything you guys have made. Share your creations with me on Instagram. Use hashtag BunnieDIY and I'll give you a shout out in my next video. This week's shout outs go to Nezreen A, Vivilaine Rusin, D, Brett Stanfill, Dolly Mixtures, and Honey Peach Dolls. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay home and stay safe. We will get through this just fine, stronger and more creative than ever. Love you a latte!